The average NFL player is 6 feet 2, 245 pounds. But these guys? Absolute skyscrapers. These are the 10 tallest players in NFL history. Number 10. Jared Velier, 6 feet 8. Jared Velier looked less like a football player and more like an NBA center. But once the ball was snapped, his size became his biggest weapon. At 6 feet 8, 321 pounds, Velier was a mountain at left tackle. Drafted by the Raiders in 2010, Velier locked down the blind side for nearly a decade. With arms like telephone poles and the footwork of a much smaller man, he kept elite pass rushers at bay. And if you still think height is a disadvantage for an O-lineman, ask Terrell Suggs or Von Miller how much fun it was trying to get past him. Number 9. Jonathan Ogden, 6 feet 9. Baltimore's first ever draft pick, one of the greatest offensive linemen to ever play the game. At 6 feet 9 and 345 pounds, Jonathan Ogden was basically a brick wall with cleats. And once he got his hands on you, forget about it. A 4-time first-team All-Pro and 11-time Pro Bowler, Ogden protected quarterbacks and bulldozed defensive linemen for 12 seasons. The only thing bigger than his frame, his legacy. In 2013, he became a Hall of Famer. Number 8. Morris Stroud, 6 feet 10. Now we're entering the giant zone. Morris Stroud was a tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, drafted in 1969. But here's the thing. He was a basketball player first. At 6 feet 10 inch, Stroud towered over everyone on the field. And while he wasn't known for blazing speed or flashy moves, he had one very unique skill: blocking field goals. So effective was he at swatting down kicks, the NFL literally changed the rules because of him. They instituted the Stroud rule, banning players from standing at the goalpost to block kicks. That's when you know you've made an impact. Number 7. Dan Skipper, 6 feet 10. You probably noticed something about Dan Skipper before the first snap. He was taller than everyone. An undrafted offensive tackle, Skipper fought his way onto multiple NFL rosters. At 6 feet 10 inch, his wingspan made him a nightmare for pass rushers. And while he bounced around teams early in his career, he finally found a home with the Detroit Lions, where he became a fan favorite. Oh, and he's also the tallest player in Lions history. Number 6. Richard Sly, 7 feet. Yep, 7 feet tall. The tallest player in NFL history. Drafted by the Oakland Raiders in 1967, Richard Sly was an absolute anomaly. At defensive tackle, he used every inch of his towering frame to disrupt passing lanes and clog run gaps. His NFL career was brief, only 8 games, but his place in the record books is forever. Number 5. Alejandro Villanoeva, 6 foot 9 picks. Villanueva wasn't just tall, he was also one of the most inspiring players in the NFL. At 6 foot 9-ish, 320 pounds, he became a Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But before his NFL career, Villanueva served multiple tours of duty as an Army Ranger. His discipline, toughness, and work ethic translated perfectly to the field, and his size, an added bonus. Villanueva spent 7 seasons protecting Big Ben's blindside, all while standing tall as a hero on and off the field. Number 4. Harold Carmichael, 6 feet. At 6 feet 8, Harold Carmichael wasn't just a tall wide receiver, he was a cheat code. Drafted in 1971 by the Philadelphia Eagles, Carmichael led the league in receptions and receiving yards during the late 70s. Cornerbacks simply had no answer for his combination of size and skill. He still holds multiple Eagles franchise records and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2020. Number 3. Klay Campbell. 6 feet 8. When you see Klay Campbell on the field, he looks like a giant among men. At 6 feet 8 and nearly 300 pounds, he dominates offensive lines with both power and length. A 6-time Pro Bowler, Campbell is one of the most respected defensive players in the game, and even well into his 30s, he's still wreaking havoc in the trenches. You want to know how intimidating he is? Just ask quarterbacks. They hate throwing over those arms. Number 2. Ed Too Tall Jones, 6'9". They didn't call him Too Tall for nothing. Ed Jones was a star defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys throughout the 1970s and 80s. At 6'9", he batted down passes, swallowed up ball carriers, and struck fear into opposing offenses. He helped lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl XII victory and became one of the most iconic players in franchise history. And trust me, even decades later, Cowboys fans still remember Too Tall. And finally, number 1, Richard Sly, 7 feet eat again. Look, we had to bring him back around, because when you're the only 7-footer in NFL history, you deserve to be both number 6 and number 1. Richard Sly will forever be the league's tallest player, and though his NFL journey was short, his record still stands tall, literally.